Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out this new frame here from FlexRC. This is the Lora 2-inch and it's a TrueX frame. It has this pod on top for a micro arrow or a micro swift, and you can also have in this case I have a VTX03, some sort of separate video transmitter, and I put also my receiver back there as well. It's a nice little pod. It's an 88mm motor to motor frame, and 88mm motor to motor, TrueX. It's a very versatile frame, and since this is all built, I'm going to show you the frame bottom. And it looks like this, and the reason it's versatile is it can handle 11.0X motors and also the 07, 03, 07, 05 series motors, the ones with 3 screw holes, so you can go for a really light build. You can go for a 20x20 stack or a 16x16 stack. The bottom plate's 2mm thick, and the side plates here and top plate are also 2mm thick. So in this case I kind of went for a little bit of a combo build. I went for these 11.0, I think these are 11.02. These are the 11.02 11,500 kV motors from eUsheen. These are actually the ones meant for the Aurora 68, and that was running 1.5 inch props. And I'm running the GemVan 2040 Hulky props here, the 2-inch props, no problem on 2S. The power cube or stack here I'm using as a smaller one, not really saving a whole lot of weight. Just wanted to give it a try. It's called a Teeny F3, and it's got an F3 flight controller, Omnibus F3 with OSD, and has a 4-in-1 ESC, a 6 amp 4-in-1 ESC, and it fits the 16x16 size. So obviously it'll fit this frame, but if it's actually, you know, if you have a frame that only takes 16x16 stacks, then this is obviously going to be one of your choices. I could have put definitely a 20x20 in there, and there's definitely lots of room in here to have prop clearance for the 20x20, so either one will work. Now if you do go the route I went and used this stack here and want to use a micro swift or micro arrow separate video transmitter system, you're going to need to use your own BEC, because the BEC that's on board here is only 0.5 amp, really only good enough to support one of those smaller all-in-one micro cameras that's transmitting at 25 milliwatts only. In this case for me, I'm using a 5-volt regulator here, and that's powering my whole setup on the top here. So that's powering my video transmitter and my camera. The receiver is still being powered by the onboard regulator from the Teeny F3, so that 0.5 amp BEC is fine for the receiver, but not for the FPV system. And so my 5-volt regulator here is just routed down to the main power leads right here. And that's pretty much it. It's a pretty easy build. Not really a whole lot to it. Obviously you got your camera adjustment angle here, you got a screw here and here. You got a standoff in the back. And then I just kind of stuffed everything in between the two standoffs. The VTX03 is held by pressure, and then the receiver is held in between the back of the camera and the VTX03, and I have a small piece of foam here providing a little bit of, I guess, just to keep up the space there so there's a wiggle around, and it works pretty well. The receiver I'm using is a FlySky FS-A8S. It's right there. Obviously, if you're using FreeSky, you probably use an XM Plus, something like that, micro receiver. This thing weighs 55 grams all up without the battery, including the props. And just to give you an idea, for comparison, this is the awesome Q95 here, 2-inch setup as well. These are 11.03 motors, not 11.02. And this has an all-in-one camera and not a micro camera like micro CCD like the micro arrow here. And this weighs 51 grams, so it's a little bit heavier, but you get the micro camera or the micro CCD camera on this setup here and for these parts. So go ahead, I'll put all the parts in the description below if you guys want to replicate my build here, and I'll go ahead and I'll show you the flight footage here in a second. In terms of the software setup, just doing the same thing I've been doing with all my builds, Betaflight 3.2, and flashing the ESCs. I've reversed the motors here as well. So there's two cards in the corner here for the Betaflight 3.2 flashing and the ESC flashing for that. and then I'll have a CLA dump in the description like I always do. And then I'll go ahead and I'll show you the flight footage now.